I can't see you, but I can feel you all the time in my head. The room is quiet, I don't stop trying to see your eyes. And you'll fall asleep in the candlelight and awake in the night. I feel your heart beat in mine, and I see your eyes flicker in the light. As I stare at the sky, I know you're mine. I feel your heart beat in mine, and I see your eyes flicker in the light. Feel your heart beat in mine. I feel your heart. I feel your heart beat in mine. And I see your eyes. See your eyes. I can't. No, I can't see you, but I can feel you all the time in my head. The room is quiet, I don't stop trying to see your eyes. But I can feel you all the time to see your eyes. You'll fall asleep in the candlelight and awake in the night. I feel your heart beat in mine. I see your eyes flicker in the light. As I stare at the sky, I know you're mine. I see your eyes flicker in the light. As I stare at the sky, I know you're mine. I feel your heart beat in mine. When I see your eyes flicker in the light. I feel your heart beat in mine. I feel your heart. I feel your heart beat in mine. And I see your eyes. See your eyes. I can't. No, I can't see you, but I can feel you all the time in my head. The room is quiet, I don't stop trying to see your eyes. I feel your heart. I feel your heart beat in mine. And I see your eyes. See your eyes. You'll fall asleep in the candlelight and awake in the night. I feel your heart beat in mine. I see your eyes flicker in the light. As I stare at the sky, I know you're mine. I can't. No, I can't see you, but I can feel you all the time in my head. The room is quiet, but don't stop trying to see your eyes.
Giving up, letting go, times we might feel compelled, looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves. And there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control when we feel like the world is against us. Now which way do we go is a question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing off our balance? We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something bigger than ourselves. That we need. We have built all by that we need. We have the heights that we need. We need. We have built all by that we need. We have the heights that we need. I feel, the high, all by I feel, the high that we need. I feel, the high, all by I feel, the
Whatever happened to the happiness? Do what you want to get it back for us. You take your time, then let me know if you wanna stay or if you wanna go. I know you have difficulty knowing me, but you don't have difficulty showing me that we just need to get away. I'll take you on a wild adventure if you want to go. We're locked in place, in sync together. Please just let me know. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. limited time. Sun is out and you get to your prime. We're falling for love, we're falling for lust, we're falling through everything. Usually the summer's getting closer. We don't feel like we are getting older. So show me what you have to bring. I'll take you on a wild adventure if you want to go. We're locked in place and sing together. Please just let me know. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. I don't want to change. We'll just rearrange. I don't want to spoil mistakes. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. Synchronize with me. You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything.
I got a gut feeling, it's obligated to show. You're the direction, dear, and I won't let that go. Progression is what I see.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is Snouch, and I'm pleased to introduce you to the Team Lopez Foundation's Race to Beat Pancreatic Cancer's Ass. As I said, my name is Snouch, and I'm pleased to be joined by Quantum Deathcat, aka QDC. How's it going? How we doing, man?
I'm doing wonderfully well. It is a nice little evening here for you. It's the morning, funnily enough. You are all the way over in Germany. Meanwhile, here in Canada land, it is nice and dark. For you, the sun is about to rise.
That is true. And it couldn't be a better timing for an event like that, to be honest. Because just as a heads up, for everybody that is here because they're involved in the Turkmenia community and you know a little bit about the game, we are going to have different variations in terms of difficulty on the tracks and also in terms of abilities from the drivers. So it's definitely going to be interesting in the long run to also compare those individual groups, but also to see how they will drive against each other, especially in a competitive environment like we have right here. So that's going to be interesting for sure. We're definitely looking forward to it.
Oh, definitely. I think this whole event is just really nice in general. Anytime is a good time to just raise awareness for anything, right? Charity-wise, I've done a lot of charity work in my life. I mean, like for the first, I'd say, 8 years of my teens, right? So pretty much every year I shaved my head every summer for a charity called Lercan. And in this instance, well, now I'm casting in favor of well, kicking pancreatic cancer's ass, as that is the Team Lopez Foundation slogan and their mission. It started in 2020. The Team Lopez Foundation was created in memory of Alex Lopez, who tragically was lost due to pancreatic cancer. So, in his honor and memory, they carry forward his legacy through charitable work. And the Team Lopez Foundation was created and dedicated to fight against pancreatic cancer. So, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to just raise awareness today by just having fun and playing some nice little video games. And what better way of doing that, right, than to
Yep.
play some racing games? Even if you've not played this game, even if you don't know anything about this game, it is just going to be a fun time today, I think.
Definitely, for sure. And also, if you're really new to the game, no worries. We are going to explain as many things as possible about Trackmania, just to give you a little bit of the basics. And who knows, maybe after this event, you not only want to donate your money for a good cause, but also maybe want to check out Trackmania yourself. Of course, to some extent, we advertise the game because we are also very passionate about it. So you can expect a few tips and tricks about the tracks here and there. And we are also going to go over the basics of Trackmania in general. But before that, I would say, especially if you're new to Trackmania, or maybe also potentially new to racing games in that regard, we're just gonna quickly run over the basics of the input devices, over the controllers and keyboards that you use in Trackmania. Because, for example, if you play with the keyboard, and let's take a look at it here, you can see usually people use W, A, S, and D to steer the car. And in Trackmania, it's also important to know your respawn and your give up button. Because you have to get in many different attempts, oftentimes, to just get the best possible time to just keep on practicing. And there are certain checkpoints on each track. So sometimes you want to respawn to a previous checkpoint and just improve certain sections of the track. So with that, you have a really good opportunity of doing that just with the game itself. And then also you can see, you can use in the standard, you can just control the spacebar and also S as a brake. And many people also have different setups also on the keyboard. And it's always interesting to see how they are managing that. But of course, we have another opportunity, and that's the controller. And here, for example, we have the layout of a PlayStation controller. And you can see here, you use the trigger buttons to get the car moving and use R1 to switch camera. And you also have your respawn button here, right at bay, which is the triangle in that instance. And then you use the joysticks for the direction. So it's pretty basic, it's pretty straightforward. And that's what you want in a game like that, where it's really precision driven, where you really need to get as good as possible to the thousands. And that's why I think it's going to be really interesting today.
Yeah, I heard a few people were also going to be using wheels, right? Which is not something that's necessarily used a lot in the Trackmania community. Obviously, we have a pro player named Granati who currently uses wheel, but that is a very rare case in which, like, he's the only player that's really known for it, and which kind of makes him unique. But at the same time, it's such a precise input, right? Compared to keyboard especially, right? It's either you're turning or you're not. And on controller, yeah, sure, you have a lot of degrees of movement, but the wheel just has such fine measurements, right? Compared especially to the controller, that to make very, very tiny turns, the wheel must be absolutely overpowered. Every controller type has its ups and downs, which is what's cool, right? Which it means that everyone has a chance to play. Everyone has a chance to bring it together.
Yeah.
And I feel like no matter what you play, you're on equal playing field, right? Because half the pros are on keyboard, half the pros are on controller. And there's a reason for that, because there's no clear favorite, right? It's not like on a shooter game where you obviously want to have a controller because you just have aim hacks with it, right?
Yeah. Definitely. And that's also that's why I'm glad that you mentioned Grenady, because we are definitely going to have a few drivers that are going to use their sim racing setup as well. So it's going to be interesting because yes, every game is different, and this is not exactly sim racing. We know so much, but it's still going to be interesting to see how people that are used to sim racing are going to behave in a game like Trackmania, because it's a vastly different environment, even though it's still, at the basics, it's a racing game. So that's gonna be cool for sure. Also, in terms of format, we're gonna do multiple rounds on each track, and we're gonna also get into the tracks when we get to each group time after time. And we are gonna split it the way that the first place gets 10 points, second place 8 points, and so on. So a system that we are fairly familiar with in Trackmania itself. So that's also going to be interesting, and it also will make for some really close situations for sure. Not only in terms of times on the track, but also in terms of points.
So, as a player, right, I don't necessarily play too much, right? I feel like you play a little bit more than I do when it comes to Trackmania. We are more voices than actual players, right? But we do love a good race here. And I think that's what we're going to get, right? With the inexperience that a lot of these players will have, I think it's going to even out the playing field, especially that we're going to be on, not crazy maps, I want to say, right? But maps that are definitely going to give these players a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we're going to start, one of the maps that we potentially see played is Spring 2201. One of the first maps of the Spring campaign. And it's a map that is very simple in essence, but that's also the problem with tracks like that, because the simpler the track is, the less room there is to optimize. So it's going to be interesting to see, especially in the beginner rounds, how they are going to behave with that.
Right. Honestly, I'm just... I don't know. I don't know where else to take this. I'm just so happy to have been given this opportunity, right, alongside you once again. I mean, we are glued to the hips, if you will, right? We do Counter-Strike together. We've done where it all started, right, the 24-hour race, which hey, that might be coming up soon as well for Trackmania fans. And now we're doing this wonderful charity event here, and I do hope that we get a few donations towards kicking pancreatic cancer's ass.
Yeah, definitely.
Listen, it's their slogan, not mine, right? I
mean, it's a good slogan. Let's be honest.
It is.
I mean, it's a good slogan.
Really good slogan. It's one that you'll remember, right? It's relatively memorable.
Yeah, definitely. And also to everybody now tuning in, as we are close to getting into the first races, we still have to set up here and there, wait for a few people. So just know there's a reason why we keep on yapping and yapping. But we're sure you enjoy that too. But if you want to donate yourself and want to do something good today, just go to teamlopezfoundation.org.au/donate, and then you can donate to the Team Lopez Foundation and make a little bit of an impact on the world.
I don't know if I could put it in the chat, but maybe one of the current mods in the chat could write it. I don't want to get my account muted on Twitch for sending in a link to it. But if someone could link that in the chat, that'd be great. Honestly, I just like the idea of having another competition. I remember the last one of the earliest competitions I've done back in the day. Thank you, Goose, for writing in chat. One of the earliest competitions I've done was also a competition where it was Rocket League players who tried out Trackmania for the first time, built some maps themselves, right? They didn't exactly know what they were doing, but they were having fun doing it. And once they got to grips, they played the game for a couple of hours, right? Yeah. And they got into it. It was a super good competition. I feel like this is the same thing, right? Where there's going to be a few hours of experience from most people, but that's just about it, right? And well, a few hours of experience most Trackmania players would know is not exactly the enough to know all the little intricacies of the game, and that's what makes the depth of this game so big, right? The skill ceiling is extremely high because every few seconds, right, you could do a multitude of tricks that'll make you save a tenth of a second here, a hundredth of a second there. And in Trackmania, especially at Pro Play, even though the maps are over a minute long, those hundredths of a second make the massive difference.
Yeah, definitely. And you see that, and that's also the beauty as you tapped into in terms of people adapting from playing Rocket League to Trackmania. You can see that overall on every in every league, I would say, in every event, whether it's amateurs or whether it's professionals, it's always going to be very close. Of course, if you're going to bet the best of the best against somebody like me, of course they're going to win. But every time people are similar, it makes for some really interesting rounds. But it seems like we are good to go. Every player so far is in their rooms, so we are going to show you a little bit of an introduction video, and then we will be right back. So hang tight.
Welcome everyone from near and far for what we think today is a truly unique fundraising event. It just reflects the times that we're living in at present, and we thought this was very unique, different, and we can all get together and have a bit of fun. For those that don't know me, my name is Marianne, and this little one beside me is Vinny, and I had the privilege of being married for 32 years to the most amazing and dynamic man called Alex Lopez. He had many loves in his life, but one of his favourite passions was anything to do with an engine, and faster the better. Didn't matter whether it had 2 wheels or 4 wheels. In fact, we even joked about a 3-wheel scooter motorised when we were older. He loved this sport so much that he requested part of his ashes be scattered at Turn 1 in Eastern Creek, which we did a year after his passing. COVID permitting this year, on the 22nd of September, we have a race day scheduled there, which we'd love if any of you can attend. It will be great. There will be racing, and there'll also be a lunch, and we can have a little toast to the great man. Alex and I, well, he mentored a lot of people, and it was only fitting that Team Lopez Foundation, under the guidance of Alex's oncologist, Professor Stephen Clark, that the funds raised from Team Lopez Foundation go to PhD students in researching pancreatic cancer, which was the insidious disease that Alex could not beat. The Team Lopez Foundation all donate their time, so we have no overheads, and for that I am truly thankful. I'd also like today to thank CEA for organising and hosting this event, Joe Hickson from Driving Solutions, who has been a great supporter, Andrew Heimgartner, Thomas Randall, Cameron Crick, Jaden Ojeda, and Lachlan Dalton. And of course, my great friends from Team Lopez and family, Team Lopez Foundation, and just thank you all for attending today. And I just wish you all good luck and just crank those engines and have a great race. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, what wonderful small introduction here for sure. And we are currently waiting for every player to join their rooms. And again, I mean, of course, I can't stop mentioning it. If you want to donate as well, go to teamlopezfoundation.org.au/donate and make an impact today. It is definitely appreciated. As we get onto the game, and I'm also just gonna check so we don't show anything on the server that we shouldn't, then we should be ready to go.
Yeah, I do agree, right? We don't want random strangers to be joining us, so we are... well, it's nice to be able to keep the passwords hidden most of the time, right? That's one of the things that Trackmania has done right, that Rocket League still has not done.
Yeah.
Where...
Always taking jabs, dude. Always taking jabs.
No, but like, you want to join the server on Rocket League, you gotta dox the entire server to everyone, right? Unless you blank your screen. But in Trackmania, it blurs it out like you would when you're writing your password in on whatever website you're in. So it's I don't know. It's smart that way. It's smarter, I should say, that way.
Definitely. Okay, I'm just gonna check out, because sometimes it's not only our fault, but sometimes also a little bit the Trackmania servers themselves, so bear with us, and then we should be good to go. And we get into the first room. Let's also see what they are already doing. I'm gonna switch right now. And we can see that a few of them are already practicing a little bit and just swerving around, waiting for their time to shine, as we are currently on the map Spring 2201. And if we get a decent run from one of the players in, then we can see that the track is relatively simple, but it still is important to just get it on point.
Yeah, it's going to be very important indeed to just have these players just show their lines, right? And at this point in time, when you first start off, right, you don't exactly know what lines to take, and after a little bit of practice, you realize, okay, I can carry all the speed, but then it comes down to how much you need to turn on the grass and how much speed you get out of that. And someone like Lomac here has shown it up great. Doughboy has as well, and it'll just show you that there are so many different lines you can take that it's going to be very, very random every single time. That I mean, unless someone's really nailed the map, you know, someone's really taken the time to learn it and to be able to nail it every single time. But hey, I mean, most Trackmania players do that, right? They'll practice a map for hours and hours on end to be the perfect player on it.
Yep. Okay, and let's get on to round 3. And as we saw with Kato Boy 767, who almost got the first place here against Little Mac, who was just better at the end. We see the line that you want to go for, but even though it looks pretty straightforward, you still have to be on point, because if you're too tight, you lose speed. If you're too wide, of course you lose speed, because you have to drive further. And it seems like Regnisiger is going to get the first place again, but Kato Boy really close with 17 points himself. So the field at the top, relatively close right from the get-go, and that's exactly what we want to see. Some real good, real close competition.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we're just going to be looking for. We're just looking for close competition. At the end of the day, that's what we should be getting here, as we see everyone starting off straight, but then everyone turns into it, and we could see then what the different lines are going to be. A lot of them going wide, a lot of them going inside, and then it really is a mix of inside and outside. You can't go too wide, you can't go too inside, and Doughboy got that one perfectly. I think that is the first sub 24 we've seen.
Yes,
on this
really
map,
nice.
And I mean, that is it takes a lot of practice to do that if you've never played the game, right? You need to practice the map a bit and understand, okay, this is how much speed I can carry through here without hitting the wall, and how little I need to turn the grass, because turning too much in the grass will make you slow down.
Yeah. And on a map like that, it really shows. And so far, I would say they're holding up really well. I mean, we're even getting some sub 24s, so that's always nice. And we see Little Mac definitely did their homework. Really close to getting the first place, going for the low approach here, which works out in their favor. 0.15 ahead of Kato Boy, and that's the first place again for Lil Mac, getting another 13 points. 24.1, not too bad. Definitely not too bad.
And obviously all these players, I mean, it might be a little bit of pressure, right, knowing they're on stream and all that, but of course there's going to be some crashes. Even though the map is relatively simpler than a lot of the maps that you could possibly have, it's not the most simple 01 map that we've ever had, right? There are a lot more simpler maps than what we've just seen. And well, now we go on to the next map here. We're going to have 2 maps that we'll be playing on, and this is a Spring 02, which already just by the layout of it looks a lot more simple than its 01 counterpart. However, this one's not played on tarmac or on grass. It's played on dirt.
And that's the beautiful thing about Trackmania as well. If you don't know about it, Trackmania has also different surfaces that behave differently from the ground up. You have grass, you have dirt, you have ice, and you have plastic and also normal tarmac street. So adapting to different driving style with each surface is really important, because you can't go into corners the way that you would on the street. To approach that on dirt, that's just not possible. So you mostly go for drifts, but even those have to be really on point. And everybody that played some dirt tracks on Trackmania knows exactly what I'm talking about. It can get really nifty to get the line just exactly as you want it, and even then, there's always room for improvement. And that's what makes it even more fun to not only compete in competitions in Trackmania and drive races, but also give your best in time attack. Just try to get the best possible time and see where you can go from there.
You can see a lot of the lines, though, for dirt, right? If it was normal tarmac road, you'd want to slow down, drift the corner, and be as close to the apex as possible. However, on dirt, you gain more speed by going wider and not turning as much. So going wide is actually the play to go here. Doughboy, not exactly going wide on most of these turns, as most players would, but he also did not risk it whatsoever, and so, while most players faltered by hitting the walls, Doughboy just really winning that round out just because he played it smart.
Yeah, definitely, and it really paid off for him, and especially here with only 12 points difference to the first place, it looks like this could be the map where he will close in and get closer to the first place. Because so far he seems in the first round he seemed really cool and calm on dirt, but he hits the edge here. Nothing happened. Definitely not the casters jinxing here. But let's check out Lil Mac, who also bonked into the inside wall on the last dirt turn, setting him back a few places. But Regni, really good time again, just trying to keep that first place, and that's what we like to see.
Yeah, the Canadian winning out the round, extending his lead just a little bit more here. And it's nice to see, right, that everyone in the field is getting a good amount of points. And with a map that's technical like this, right, you want to get as close to the outside wall as possible without crashing into it. And a lot of players are trying to get to that outside wall and are sadly touching it, right? But that's the cost of Trackmania, right? You need to get as close to these walls as possible to gain as much speed as you possibly can, as that's nearly a sub 20 out of Regnazigger.
Nice.
And that is so close.
Really nice. Really good showing here. So you can see what is possible on a track like that. And of course, the limit is always getting higher and higher up there. Times are getting closer and closer, as people are sometimes driving times only a computer could replicate. So that's also the beauty about Trackmania. I mean, it doesn't happen that often, but it happens sometimes. And that's just another thing to add. But we see Regni here again taking that first place, really dominant here on the dirt track. Of course on Spring 01 as well, but really strong here. Getting as many points as possible, that's exactly what you're going for. Being the first person over 100 points, while the others are still in the double-digit zone.
Yeah, but Doughboy is 1 point away, and with one last round, right now he can't catch up whatsoever, so the Canadian has won this first round matchup here. And no matter what happens, even if he decides to DNF, which honestly during competitions like this, most players learn this the hard way, but you should unbind your complete reset, your DNF button, right? Because although it's good for when you're doing runs and practicing a map, it's not that good when you're trying to race like this, because you never want to do it because you'll automatically get 0 points. Whereas even if you crash into a checkpoint, you can reset your checkpoint and be on your merry way. So
exactly. But GG to Regnazigger for getting the first place here in the first two maps. Really dominant performance. Was really nice to watch. So overall, and we saw the times, especially in the middle field, were really close. So maybe we can expect a few small upsets here and there. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Maybe we could. Maybe we could. Are we going on a break or are we continuing on? I actually forget here. I am small-brained. It is 10:30, and don't mind me. I normally go to bed at 9. It's so rare that I stay up this late myself. So I took a nap today, to try and stay up later. I know you went to bed earlier as well because it's 4 a.m. where you are right now, Douch. So you've gone to bed early as well, woken up earlier than you normally do just to be here with us. We're both sacrificing for this wonderful event, and I think this wonderful cause. And I think sacrifices do need to be made for causes such as this.
Yeah. But I also gotta say, I'm if it's for Trackmania, I don't matter how much I'm gonna sleep, I'm always looking forward to it. So there's definitely that. But with the first match gone and out of the way, we are going to go for a short intermission, and then we're gonna be right back in just a few minutes with some more Trackmania. So hang tight. And we are back after a small intermission. And I gotta say, even in hindsight, first race was really fun. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the drivers will behave in the second race that we are going to watch. But before that, I think it's also time to get a little bit more in depth about Trackmania. Because from a standpoint of somebody that also got into Trackmania with completely fresh eyes after not having played for years, it's really helpful to just know a few things here and there. So we can just get into it. QDC, have you got something that you want to really mention here, or should I just start rambling on until you stop me?
I mean, there's a lot of Trackmania lore, right? There's a lot of just Trackmania, just little things out there that will help you, such as getting the minimum amount of airtime, right? That is one of the things that that's drilled into your brain when you first start off, is try to minimize the airtime. Try not to do big jumps. Slow down if you need to not get airtime, right? Because if you slow down beforehand, you could stay on the ground, because when you're in the air, you're unable to gain more speed. Yeah. As when you are on the ground, you can continue accelerating unless you hit into a wall.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. And also, when what we saw on the dirt track just before was also the way, and we talked a bit about that, how you have to behave on different surfaces. And I would say dirt, out of all surfaces, is still one of those where the learning is a little bit more thankful. Like, it's easier to get around it. Because once we get onto ice, it's gonna be something else. Because on ice, for those of you who don't know, on the ice surface, your car is slippery. But once you turn your car, and I'm gonna use my mouse here as an example, usually your car goes in this direction. And if you want to drive a corner like this to the right from my side, then all you have to do on ice is turn your car 90 degrees. 90 yeah. It's getting 5 a.m. And then you counter steer and you slide your car with a 90-degree angle through the corner. And it seems really crazy if you don't know about that concept altogether. Yes. But that's only one small thing what makes ice so interesting, even from a competitive standpoint, because you can get a good ice slide, you can get a bad ice slide, and you can get everything in between. So just with one ice slide, you can either gain or lose up to multiple seconds on just one turn on one small part of the track. So we have also interesting stuff like that. But of course, we also have tracks with different identities, as they are called. So you have small little tricks at the end of each track that you have to master. So it's not only about keeping consistent on the tracks, but it's also about really knowing the identity in and out, so you don't fail right at the end of the map. So it's just small stuff like that, so you can sort of grasp in which direction Trackmania can go. Not necessarily needs to, but can. And we are getting information that we are ready to get on a little bit more. So now we are going to show you our second video, and then we are going to be right back with some more racing. So hang tight.
Hi guys, Andre Heimgartner here, V8 Supercar driver. Just want to say hi to all the Team Lopez E-Series Challenge drivers. Some of you are obviously new, so a few tips. You can actually look on YouTube, get some good tips, but there's no substitute for laps as well. Myself, I've been racing for 20 years, millions of laps, and that's really the only way you get better and better. So thanks for being part of it, and thanks for donating to the Team Lopez.
Okay. That was also that. Of course, we hope you enjoyed that. And right now, we are waiting for the players to get into the rooms, and then we can get into the second match that we are going to watch today.
Yes, there's going to be 3 matches, I do believe, that we're going to be watching today.
Exactly.
And all of them on different maps. So for this upcoming one, we saw 01 and 02. And this time, it's only going to take place on 04. And I'm not too sure what the second map will be. Maybe it's going to be 04 twice. I didn't get to see...
it's map 04 and map 05.
Map 04 and map 05. So these ones have some very slight differences, such as map 04 here has a surface that we did not talk about yet, which is sausage block. So the sausage block is tarmac, but it is bulbed, right? So it is like this. You could say it's like a fat track. You know, it's really odd. It's well like a sausage. It is.
You know what?
Think of it like a sausage curb.
Exactly, and that's why I think as long as we have the time, let's get into the server. And I'm just gonna quickly show the map, and as you can see, there's the sausage, the sausage part as it's called, and you can see there are many different ways you can approach those lines. Then we get into a little bit of a grass section, and then back onto the sausage. And here on this turn, it's really important to not jump too much, but also to get around without losing that much speed. And then we are already at the finish. So, just so you saw that, we get back into it.
And you can also notice that the turning is really weird, right?
Yeah.
On grass, you can't fully turn, right? You'll hit a point where you'll actually lose all your speed on grass if you fully turn. And on grass, it's really important to lightly tap while turning to make sure you grab as much speed as you possibly can. It's going to be extremely important to do that, because or else you'll lose all of your speed, you'll lose all of your momentum.
Yeah.
And it's really crucial for that to happen, as the players have been told to reset the round, I do believe.
Okay. So that means we are also going to exit here. But the good thing is we are not leaking any passwords. So we can stay here, just chill a little bit in the lobby, as the cool kids would say. Or that's what I imagine cool kids would say. And then we can get back onto 04 and then 05. And we already saw that the players sort of know their way around the sausage blocks, but what threw them off, rightfully so, was the switch up with the grass surface. So it's going to be interesting to see how they will behave a few rounds in.
Because sausage, what's really hard about it is that you want to stay centered, right? But at the same time, because if you go too close to the wall, you'll actually get like stuck to it because of the tilted road. But if you don't go onto the tilted surface in a turn, you are going to lose a lot of speed and might even fly off of the track itself because of how the block itself is, which is absolutely crazy when you think about it. You could just fly off the road here, and that's what's nice about Trackmania, right? It's you're in a crazy Formula 1 car that can reach speeds of over 1,000 kilometers an hour, given the right circumstances. And there are little tricks to help you go faster. And well, in a turn, obviously you can't take a turn at fully 1,000 kilometers an hour, not a turn this tight anyway. And well,
we see, and that's what I was talking about. We saw LOL Ploxy right now just crashing into the wall on the grass part. And the grass is also a surface where you really have to calculate beforehand, okay, how am I going to approach it? Do I have enough speed? Do I have too much speed? Because it can really cost you so much. So we see DagTag with a 26.5. Really decent time for sure here for the first round. And let's see how they will improve on that. And also, don't mind me chilling on the leaderboards. I just wanted to be part of the gang. But right now we are switching to 05. Also an interesting map, because we are still at the stage where it's relatively easy to get the grasp of the track. But the better you get, the faster you get, the harder it really gets to improve on your time, because there are not that many parts where you can really improve. So we also have to consider that. So it's also going to be interesting here to see what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, because this map is all about the speed. Can you keep up the speed without releasing your accelerator? And the thing is that you want to get as close to the walls as you possibly can in this tarmac section before getting on this dirt and having this sharp 90-degree turn after a big drop down, and then continuing into that turn without running into a tree or a cactus, and then continuing on the dirt. Again, these sharp corners, you need to know how little to turn to be able to keep up the speed.
Yeah, definitely. And we are currently spectating Deck Tech in the warm-up, and they seem like they know what they're doing, also with a beautiful skin, so it seems like somebody who knows the in and outs of Trackmania. So let's see if that also translates to the leaderboards. I mean, so far it looks like it. Let's see if they can keep it up over the next couple of rounds. As we head into the first round on 05, we see here Lolploxy with a better start, getting a little bit more airtime and crashing into the wall on the inside turn, giving Deck Tech a lot more room to breathe. But Timbos is only 0.1 behind, but he seemed to be struggling a little bit. Deck Tech also with a wide approach here, but it's better safe than sorry. And he crashes into the cactus. Very unfortunate here. We see Immortal and Ben Elmas trying to catch up with Lolploxy and Timbos, but Timbos already in the finish, too fast for everyone. And that gives 10 points to him with a really nice finishing time.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great to see that a map like this is for right at the beginning as well, right? Because this is a map that this campaign is extremely tough, right? And these first 5 maps teach you a lot about the game, right? And this one is about speed. It's all about the speed, but not just on tarmac, but on dirt as well. Can you keep the speed without releasing? And Lolploxy shows us that you can keep the speed, but it's also smart to know when to drift when you're in trouble and without hitting the wall, because when you hit the wall, you lose a large amount of speed for a long period of time, right? Not being able to accelerate for over a second is big, but Lolploxy goes wide, and because of that, he'll need to reset at the last checkpoint that he hit, and that's why you need to turn a little bit sharper in that last turn, or set yourself up a little bit wider to not turn as much into that last turn and not lose too much speed.
Yeah, and that's also, I gotta say, on a personal note, that's why I don't like that track. Because of that last turn, you have such a good time, and then you're just a little bit off, and it just gets you. But
It's
that's also
devilish.
the beauty about maps like that in a small competition like that. But we see Deck Tech again, first place. Timbos close behind. Let's follow them. Let's see how they are doing. Deck Tech with half a second in front of Timbos, who is crashing and still has to try to make the best of it. But Deck Tech, no chance, he's going to stop soon. Getting the win, but Lolploxy also swerving away from Timbos. Getting the second
wait, he
place.
crashed.
Oh, wait! Oh no, Deck Tech crashed himself at the ending. Oh no, this gives another 10-pointer to Lolploxy.
Oh, Lolploxy had the same thing happen to himself, right? The round earlier. The win that got taken away from him, and now he gets one back right here. It's the feel good, man. Right?
Yeah.
It feels good, man.
Definitely. And also, if Lolploxy wins right now, it's also going to depend on Timbo's position here, of course. It looks like he could actually take a shot at the first place. It's going to be very close. A lot of things have to happen. But Deck Tech seems confident so far. Looking good for sure. But let's see how he will behave on the last turn.
He needs to swerve wide, and Lolploxy is just behind him. It's going to be close. Depends how much he needs to turn. Lolploxy crashes the finish there. And so he actually loses out to 2 other players.
Lolploxy gave away a few positions. That's a good script. Gotta love it.
Good script. Nice job keeping the script, everyone.
But that means Timbos has the first place. So GG's to Timbos. Really nicely done. Really nice performance here. And we just saw many potentially good times, but it wasn't meant to be on a map like that. That is definitely given.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Oh man,
see.
I enjoyed that. I'm sure the players did as well. It's a tough competition for this to be played in, right? Because of course when you're just starting to learn the game, and I mean, some of them are playing on their sim setups, right? Their sim racing setups. You don't exactly know the intricacies of Trackmania to the point where you know exactly every single little detail that needs to be done, and of course that comes along with hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of playing, right? And
Yeah.
every single game has that. In Rocket League, for example, right, the aerial, you don't learn that right away, for sure, right? At first, you just learn how to hit the ball, how to drive your car, how to control your car, and then
Yeah.
you learn how to go faster and faster and faster, and then you learn how to strategize with teammates and how to position yourself on the field, and then you learn how to maybe aerial, maybe do a flick, right?
Yeah.
And there's always something else to learn in Rocket League. There's always something new to learn, even if you're at the end game, right? Even if you are a godlike player, even if you are a pro player, there's always more to learn, and that's kind of indicative of real sports as well. And
Yep.
Trackmania has that same element where there is still so much more you can learn and master. Pros. We talked about Grenady earlier. He spent 12 hours one stream a couple of months ago, literally just learning one new skill, right? Just doing it over and over and over again to
Yep.
implement it into his game. And this season of TMGL, which is the what is it? The competition, right? The highest competition there currently is for Trackmania. There's actually a map where he needs to do that trick called a Neo slide, and
Yep.
he learned it all because of a really long grind he had to do, and he has thousands of hours in this game. So it's there's always more to learn,
Yep.
right? So if you want to pick
Definitely.
up this game, it's free to start off, right? Which is
Yep.
even the best part of this.
Yeah, definitely. But the best part is also going to be race number 3. That is coming up really soon. We're going to go into a small intermission to just check up with all the players. But if you have any questions regarding the event, regarding the game, but also regarding the foundation, just put it into the chat. We are happy to answer, and I'm sure the mods are as well. So we're going to see you in just a few minutes. Hang tight. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for the third and final race today. But before that, the players are getting ready right now, so we still have a couple of minutes to talk with you. And of course, something that is very important to us. If you can and if you want to, you can go to teamlopezfoundation.org.au/donate to donate to the Team Lopez Foundation to kick pancreatic cancer's ass. And I think that's a good thing. And even if you can't, or if you don't want to, whatever the reason may be, no worries. You can also just tell a friend about the foundation. Maybe they are interested. Just spread the word, and I think together we can achieve many great things. But speaking of great things, why not go to the prizes? Yes, the players today are going to get prizes, and let's just take a quick look at them. We are having a $50 voucher and TLF merch for the first place. And for the second place, we have a $25 voucher and TLF merch as well. And the third place is not going to get a voucher, but still some TLF merch. And I would say that is very buzzing respectfully. Or that's what the cool kids say, I guess. You got to correct me on that.
I mean, to be fair, it's just cool to get some free clothing, or I guess a water bottle as well. It's kind of cool, and of course it's all for a good cause, so why not go for it, right? And I mean, if you can rep it, and just maybe it's gonna be a good mantelpiece, right? You keep it up in the living room, right? That cap is always gonna be on that coat hanger. Maybe you put it out and take it around with you from time to time, and it's a good set piece. Oh, what's this? Well, I played in this charity tournament, and it's this charity that's all about pancreatic cancer research, and they're really trying to kick this its ass real hard, as its slogan says, kicking pancreatic cancer's ass. I mean, of course, I'm not just saying that over and over again just to say bad words, but honestly, it is a good it is a good slogan, but also just overall I think catchy, right? It's something that you'll remember, and it's overall just so smart to think of it that way. And most of the people who will donate are grown-ups anyway, right? So it's just not marketing in a sense, but like I mean, it's gonna be easier to get their message out that way.
Yeah, you gotta have a catchy slogan. So of course we're taking those, and now we are going to the third video, and it's gonna be a personality that some of you maybe recognize. So I hope you're looking forward to that, and then we will be right back with the third and final race.
Hey everyone, my name's Thomas Randall. I'm a driver in the V8 Supercars Championship, and I'm based in Melbourne. For those of you who are new to this and just getting a handle on the whole esports racing stuff, there's plenty of things to look out for. But look, esports racing is a lot of fun. You can crash as many times as you like, and you can talk to your mates online whilst racing each other, which is a really cool feature. As simple as it sounds, driving on the sim is kind of like driving in real life. I treat it the same sort of way with braking markers, the way we pick up the throttle, the steering, the gears, all that kind of things. And I use it to keep sharp and to hone my skills and my racecraft by racing online as well. For me, I think it's important to raise funds to support research into cancer, because this gives scientists access to technology that drives innovation and is what leads to saving lives. Cancer outside of work incidents is the leading cause of death, especially in young adults. I know from my own experience, having been diagnosed with testicular cancer, the importance of this cancer research, because without it, I wouldn't have had the access to the treatments that are available today, and I wouldn't have been able to be put into remission. So it's pretty incredible, just over the last 30 years or 40 years, the progressions and the steps that have been made in cancer research. So lastly, just want to thank all the racers for donating to the Team Lopez cause, and to wish you all the best for the rest of the competition. So thanks guys, cheers.
Okay, and we are back. Let's also get the beautiful Trackmania music going back again. So right now we are waiting for all the players to join into the server, and then we are ready to get into the race. So this is only gonna take 1 or 2 minutes, and then we can finally get into it. I'm very much looking forward to it, especially because the map that we are probably getting is Fall 2021, right?
Yes, it's
11.
a Fall
It's
2021 map.
Exactly. 11 is a map from the fall campaign that I didn't really like, because it's one of those maps that's a little bit more in the tech section. So that's gonna be interesting for sure, to see how they will behave on a track like that. Because if you don't know Trackmania, it is comprised of different categories, and each color stands for a different difficulty. So you start at white, and then you get to green, blue, red, and black. The black tracks are always the toughest tracks, and the blue are the ones where it starts to get interesting. They're right in the middle, so, you know, it's gonna be interesting to see how they will behave on that track for sure. Also
Yeah,
see...
exactly. I think it's gonna be a great idea to, I mean, right now it's tech, right? And it's the most popular one out of all the types of gameplay. What is tech? It means that you're drifting around most corners, trying to carry as much speed as you can, while also being as close to the walls as possible. And this is where you'll see certain tricks such as the Neo Drift, where you're below 250 speed and need to do a drift. And, well, that is a skill that actually needs several inputs to be done to be able to do.
Yeah. And right now, I'm just checking because it seemed like there were a few people in the room. Maybe we also have a few Nadeo issues again, but it should be good in just a bit. But we are the only one here. Okay, we're just gonna wait a little bit more. But yeah, as you mentioned, stuff like the Neo Slide really important here in Trackmania on tracks like that as well. Like on 11, it's gonna come in handy for sure. Okay. We are just waiting for some informations right now. We have 12 people. Let's rejoin. Maybe I just got a little bit of a bug.
Yeah, that's the correct room.
Okay, good. And we're good to go. Okay, Anik123 is already here. I'm going into spectator because I'm not going to be racing. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, why are you only with one person?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, because it says 12 here. Let me just get back into it.
Anik is not on the server I'm on, but that is very odd. That is an odd bug that you're experiencing.
But I'm in the right
just
room.
Nadeo things.
But I'm still in the right one, right? Not just not that's the problem that I can't read. Just want to be sure.
Maybe go out of the club room and then rejoin it? Possibly?
Yeah, I did, sadly.
That's not working.
Oh, okay, I see. It could be with the way the room was set up. Okay, so we're just gonna wait a little bit. It could be solved. So I'm gonna show you my beautiful face again, whether you want to or not. And we're just gonna ramble on a bit about Trackmania, as we hope that the races aren't too far into the rounds.
Yeah. So honestly, I think overall, just before we go into it, I think Thomas Randall was correct in that video that we just watched, right? That so many advancements have been done thanks to these charities. We don't really talk about the charities, right? When we talk about a new advancement being done in healthcare, right? And it's all thanks to those most of the times that we get the developments that we need, how the scientists get the funds that they need. So it's really important that even like a $1 donation goes a long way overall, right? To getting them new equipment, to letting them being able to buy the equipment they need to be able to do these experiments and all that. So all in all, just please go donate, and the link is right in chat. The teamlopezfoundation.org.au. I almost said EU, but it's AU, Australia. That'd be a great thing if you could go donate over
Definitely.
there. And let's go back into the Trackmania now. As
Now I
you are,
finally made it, yeah.
yeah,
So there was just a small issue there, but now we are in, and you see on the warm-up, especially with small sausage parts, and here you want to get as much speed as possible and really get around the corner as tight as possible. This map has cost me so many points in matchmaking, it's unbelievable. So I'm really looking forward to see how they will behave on that track. Let's start with Sigur and see how they're doing. Oh, scraping the wall right at the start, very unfortunate. But we see Wafer James holding on. But also that first turn, if you don't know the exact line, it's really something else. And it's really tough to keep your cool after that. Because if you want to play a map like that really, really fast, it's gonna cost you a lot of nerves.
Yeah, this is a map that you definitely need to practice on just a little bit beforehand, right? Because these drifts, you need to know where to do them. And if you don't, you're going to run into the wall or you're going to fly off the track, right? Because this is sausage, don't forget. So right now, well, it's Shivy that's in the lead. Albert is right behind him. And as Shivy finishes in first, it's going to be really hard to get it together here. Most of the players don't have the speed to do the risky finish jump. Segwer will get himself in fourth. And everyone else finishing in behind. We see that most players, well, no one actually went for the risky finish, which you can actually go onto the inside of that last turn with the sausage. And if you have enough speed, you can jump directly into the finish, which will save you about 1 second compared to slowing down and taking the turn and then going back down. And so it's really these small things that you'll get to learn with time as you play Trackmania.
Yeah, definitely. But also, I think Shivy is somebody that practiced quite a little bit. We see the Red Bull skin, and you only see that on people that have spent a few hours in Trackmania, and the lines seem, apart from a few small mistakes, which are given in a competitive environment, they're looking really good here on this track. But let's see if they're going for the risky finish, but they choose not to. Probably a smart move here. Because for those people that don't know, on this track, for the last corner, they go to the left and then down. But what you can also do, because of the sausage, is you can jump right into the finish. And that jump isn't as hard as it looks, but also it's not the easiest thing. So it's definitely something that you can miss here and there, but it's something that the pros are also willing to take to get the most points.
Yeah. It's a really tough map too, right? You said earlier, this map costs you so much in matchmaking, and this map actually cost me a lot of time just grinding it out, trying to get the toughest medal to get, the author medal, which is, there's 4 tiers of medals, right? Think of the author medal as the platinum medal. It is by far the hardest one to get on any map, and it is so hard to get it on this map in particular. You need to be pinpoint perfect, never hit a wall, and even just slowing down just a little bit to stay on track without hitting anything is absolutely not allowed to get this last medal. And here's a fight for him, Test Kit, and for the final part, and she really was so close to falling off.
Yeah, Shifi almost got him, but then was a little bit too fast for the last turn. And that's always when you see the first place and it's within reach, you want to push as much as possible. And the problem is sometimes you push on the wrong parts, whether you like to or not. And it's always adapting to those circumstances. But still, really strong round here by Test Kit and also by Shivi, who is still 2 points in the lead. So let's see if they can hold on to that. But Test Kit right now looking pretty confident. Also slowing down a little bit more before the turns, but that also is really good because then they don't bonk into walls that much. We also see with that bonk losing quite a bit of time, but let's also see what Shivi is doing here.
He's doing great.
Yeah, he's doing great so far, and also that small sausage jump that he had before the turn, that's also something that can put many people off.
Because if he's gonna go for the risky,
he doesn't. Could've. But it looked like it. Oh, and he stays on the track.
He can thank that pole for being there.
It's all calculated.
It's all calculated.
Exactly.
But you guys saw that, right? That like he he could have aimed towards the finish had he had a slightly better last turn, but instead he had to get back into the normal line and save it, and he nearly didn't do that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's why this map is so scary, because at the start, you actually don't need to even brake at all, right? And that's the scariest thing, is just nailing that in a lap. And that's what made it so hard in matchmaking, was that a lot of players, right, when you get up into the levels, they know how to do that, right?
And they know how to do that every time.
Every time without crashing, which is absolutely absurd. And then they get this turn perfectly, which is so stupid. Like, they somehow do it with over 300 speed. And you can see Shivi just hit 300 speed there. Ooh,
that's really nice. Those are lines that we want to see, because that's the way you have to approach the map. But going for the safe finish again. Because
what a beautiful time, though.
Yeah, a 44.1. Really, really nice. And rightfully so, the first place here on this track. As we have Wafer James in second place, Sigurd in third place, Teskit in fourth, Albert fifth, Ray in sixth.
And only 6 finishers. That's crazy, right? And he finishes over 6 seconds ahead of second place. So that was just a dominating showcase, as he's starting to get more and more comfortable with this map, and maybe might get more and more comfortable to as well go on the offensive and try to go faster. Maybe it'd be a good idea to show the world record.
Ooh, Teskit going for the wall banks. Where is the rule book? This is illegal.
Most people wouldn't understand that, but in Trackmania, it's really frowned upon to wall hit on purpose, right? But a lot of players, especially when you just start off, it might actually be the smarter play to go for if you know you're not going to fly off. Sadly, with Sausage, though, that's not exactly very helpful.
Yeah. And you lose a little bit of time, but at least you are consistent. But Shivi, close, but holding on to the first place. Really nice. But Wafer James also really close. And that's where the risky finish, the jump into the finish, really would come in handy. Because then, even when you're 2 seconds behind, you can still snipe. Because if they take a little bit more time on the regular finish, making that turn to the right, getting down, they lose more than 2 seconds compared to your risky finish. But now we are in the final round, and it seems like Shivi already has it, unless Teskit wins and Shivi DNFs. But Teskit sadly had a bonk at the start, so it seems like it's time to shine for Shivi.
Segura is actually right behind, and I mean, they have not finished sometimes, right? And that's completely fine, trying to go as fast as you possibly can. And I mean, they're still in third place because they are really fast off the start here. Yeah. And they are ahead by quite a little bit of Albert and Teskit here, taking that last turn slowly. Here's Shivi going into the finish.
And winning that race.
Yeah.
Getting first place again. You gotta do it to him. Really nice. So GG to Shivi and to everybody else coming into the finish right now. Sigur in second place, Teskit third, Albert in fourth place. And that concludes the final round, and we have a winner with Shivi with 62 points compared to Teskit with 51 points. So quite dominant here in this group, but really well made. So GG to all of them. It was really fun to watch for sure.
GG to everyone, and reminder for the winners here. It's going to be all their total points counted up after all 3 rounds. And so, all in all, there's going to be someone who comes home with $50 and some nice merch from the Team Lopez team. Their Team Lopez Foundation, I should say. There's also, for second place, $25 and some more Team Lopez Foundation merch. And for third place, you'll get yourself some nice Team Lopez Foundation merch. Not too sure which ones they'll get, right? What kind of merch they'll be getting, but they will be getting something. And as I said before, it's a good mantelpiece to start off a conversation, right? Oh, I got on the podium for a competition that was all about raising awareness for pancreatic cancer and kicking its ass. And
I think there's nothing that could be more beautiful on a Thursday or Friday, depending on wherever you are. So, of course, the winners of those prizes are going to be notified within the next couple of days. Our admins right now are making sure that the scores are correct, and then they will reach out. So if you won in the race, first of all, congratulations. Really well done. But also, it's just gonna take 1 or 2 days until they will reach out to you. So just be on the lookout for that. And of course, again, it's really important to us as well. If you want to donate to the Team Lopez Foundation, feel free to do so on teamlopezfoundation.org.au/donate. And if you can't or don't want to, as we said, that's perfectly fine. Tell a friend, tell your parents, tell your family about the Team Lopez Foundation, because it's really important to have organizations like that fight for the good in this world, I would say. And
if you guys are interested in Trackmania, maybe you don't have the game, it's completely free if you just want to start it off, and you'll always get new maps every 3 months. Every 3 months, you'll get 25 new maps to play. So if you guys want to play for absolutely free, you can. It's on the Ubisoft store. And you could get it on Epic Games, though I don't necessarily recommend it. Because, I mean, it's the Epic Games store, right? I mean, the Ubisoft launcher is not exactly the greatest thing in the world, but it actually plays better on the Ubisoft launcher. Other than that, it's a paid subscription game. It's very different than most. And so if ever you just feel like, hey, I want to get into this game, maybe I just want to get the feel for it, it's like 15 euros a month, I think. Right? Not a month, sorry, for a whole year.
Yeah, it should be either $20 or $30 right now for 1 whole year, and then you can still decide, hey, I'm gonna cancel it. It's all fine. But then you had a year of full access to Trackmania. There are also different tiers.
And it's not just that, you get to keep all the maps that you got during that time, right? So all those maps that you played and all the maps that you were given during that 1 year of having the subscription, you get to keep afterwards, even if you don't renew your subscription. So all in all, I think it's a win-win, and it's not too expensive. And if you're really, really into the game, I mean, if you spend hundreds and hundreds of hours into the game, I mean, spending, I don't know, like 50 euros for 3 years, I don't think that's necessarily a bad deal at the end of the day. So it's all down to whether or not you like the game. Give it a try in the free-to-play, right? And maybe get yourself a subscription if you're really into it. And, well, if you have the money for the subscription, maybe give a little bit to the donation of Team Lopez, the Team Lopez Foundation here.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, is there anything else to say? No?
I wish I could say goodnight.
Well, I definitely can, but there's only 23 minutes left before the next day on my end, right? It's still Thursday for me. I know it's Friday for you. It's been nearly 6 hours now that it's been Friday for you.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. But I want to take that opportunity to thank you all, myself, for watching, for chatting. We really appreciate it. And also to everybody racing and everybody that made this event possible. Thank you so much. We really appreciate to be part of the team. You can search us up on social media. My name is Knouch. That's Knouch, because some people think that's a difficult name. Which I understand, especially when it's slurred. You can find me everywhere, also on Twitch. Same goes for Quantum Death Cat, also QDC. Again, I mean, I say it all the time, but thank you so much for being here with me for this cast. It's been truly a pleasure, and on to the next one.
Yes, we do so much together, and I'm so glad that I got to participate with you on this journey here for the Team Lopez Foundation and CEA.GG for bringing us out here and for running this tournament. Big thanks to both parties here.
Definitely.
And on my end, I mean, I cast along with Knouch at this point, and I cast everywhere, whether it's Trackmania or Counter-Strike, Rocket League. I got my start in Rocket League, so don't be surprised if you see me around those parts. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say goodnight because I can't say goodnight. But for you, Knouch, good morning. Good night to all the Australians that were with us as well. Good night to all the Americans and Canadians that were with us tonight. And to any Europeans watching, well, good morning to you.
Yeah. And with that, have a good one, take care, and who knows, maybe we're gonna see each other soon. Bye bye.